This week, Ria and I are taking aim at the new Jorgensen Archery Range in Richfield as we stretch our comfort zone in a day of target practice.
Then the AYL crew is tagging along with the Tri-State ATV Club as they show off an incredible ride from Base Camp Enterprise to Pilot Peak.
Finally, Reese and Marianne Stein are taking us to one of the most mystical apartment complexes in the world as we explore Cappadocia, Turkey. It's all headed your way right now. At Your Leisure is next.
You know, I think these look like they need an operator's permit and 3 months of training. It looks like they're bows with a transmission in them. This is amazing. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Ria Rossi Booth.
And we would like to introduce you to Jack Head, who is the official Jorgensen's archery guru. I think that's the way to call it.
Okay.
You're so humble, Jack. So tell us a little bit about these beautiful bows from Jorgensen.
Well, they're compound bows. You know, archery goes back thousands of years when they shot longbows and recurves and so on. Recurves are still popular, but not as popular as the compound bows.
All right. Well, we've got quite a selection of them. It's interesting to point out where we are.
Yeah.
This is the Richfield City Archery Range, and it's all been set up by Jorgensen's to encourage the sport. And it's not just these two targets here down at the easy part. They have targets all the way up this draw set up. How many of you got here total, Jack?
16 counting the two practice targets.
Oh, these are just practice targets.
Yeah.
Ria and I will never make it off the practice targets.
Dude, speak for yourself. I'm getting up there. Sweet 16, I'm gonna get it all the way up to the tippy top. Is it way up there?
It goes up a ways, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Have to
exciting.
go further up the draw there.
But as I understand it, it complements actual hunting. So some of them you're shooting down, some of them you're shooting up, some of them you're just in a lot of different positions.
Yeah, and at different distances, you can kind of pick your own distance.
So let's find out a little bit about these bows here.
This is one of our better selling bows. It's a Diamond Infinite Edge, and it covers a lot of range as far as draw length and shooting weight. It's a good youth bow. Pins, normally there's 1, 3, or 5 pins, or even sometimes 7 pins, but in this bow we sighted in 20, 30, and 40 yards.
Huh. I'm gonna have to learn how that works.
So that also looks like something would use if you're just starting out. Not just a kid, but if you're like a beginner like me.
Yeah.
Or that would be a great bow.
That would be, because we can set it up to fit your draw length and the weight that you can pull without any, and it's not a test of strength.
Right.
So you want to pull a weight that's comfortable for you and be able to prepare the arrow down there at a decent speed.
Makes sense.
What's the Cadillac here?
We handle also Hoyt bows as well as Matthews bows and Prime. The riser is made of carbon and the limbs are laminated and has a built-in arrow rest, built-in stabilizer, and that's just the bow by itself. If you add your other accessories, you can add anywhere from $5,000 to $1,000 depending on what accessories you want on there.
Well, that's as much as a good dirt bike.
So this is this Hoyt, they're from Salt Lake. They're from Salt Lake, right? Aren't they from Utah, this company?
Yes.
That's nice.
We have at least 2 archery companies that are stationed in Salt Lake City. One is the arrows we sell mostly are Easton arrows, and the Hoyt factory, they're real close together up there.
They're just easton of them down in the industrial center, right?
Yeah, Easton's been in business for 100 years now.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Hoyt since 1931.
Yep.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, I think we should probably get set up to learn how to use some of this stuff, and you should take off and go to our Where To this week.
It's getting hotter in southern Utah, and in order to beat the heat, members of the Tri-State ATV Club have come to ride out of Enterprise.
You know, today down in St. George is supposed to be 104 degrees. And we're up here and the breeze is blowing and it's pretty comfortable right now. Good terrain, nice trees and vegetation and rocks. But one of the main things is we have not seen another person on this ride today. And so we do actually get that sense of solitude and rejuvenation. We really don't want to be in the crowds.
Nobody on these trails, so yeah, it's a great place to be. I just like being out here in the country where there are hills and trees and in the right times, lots of flowers blooming.
When you got out here, what are you worrying about? Nothing. And all of the rest of the worries go away, so you kind of cleanse yourself. Cleanse your brain. It's a wonderful thing to do, and to take this access away would be destructive to a lot of us. You know, we're not young anymore. I can't hike over the next 10 ridges.
Utah is blessed with a lot of public lands, and those public lands don't do us a lot of good unless we can access those. And many of us need motorized assistance to access them. I wouldn't be able to see this country if I needed to come out and hike all day.
Utah is a world-class destination for motorized recreation. Not everyone agrees, but maintaining motorized access to natural areas all around the state is important for older folks as well as disabled individuals. With the help of a machine, people with limited mobility are afforded great opportunities to get out and commune with nature. Like many other OHV groups, the Tri-State ATV Club are strong advocates for keeping trails open and accessible.
We like to fight for the access to the land, so we like to stay involved with the issues, and we like to give back to the communities. Earlier today we went by a kiosk, and the club built that kiosk. That kiosk is informational. It helps people know where they need to go and gives them some training on land use ethics and things like that, so they can come out and take better care of the land.
Taking care of the land is what it's all about. ATV and off-road clubs are valuable stewards of the land they recreate on. From trail maintenance, to picking up any trash they see, to riding responsibly, and educating others on how to do the same. Joining up with a riding club is a great way to learn good habits on the trail, get involved with trail improvement projects, as well as find new places to ride with like-minded folks. It's never too late to get involved.
Well, we have a website. They can get on there and actually join. Every second Tuesday of the month at the Hurricane Community Center, we have a meeting there and they can come out and see what we are.
And if you want to explore the southwest corner of Utah, Enterprise is a great jumping off point.
It has a good feeling about it. Enterprise is a nice little town.
There's a bed and breakfast there, a motel, there is places to eat, and a grocery store, place to get parts to fix your car. And we just enjoy coming up here and riding out of Enterprise.
Enterprise is just a really nice, friendly, small town. And if you're in Enterprise in late August, they have a sweet corn festival.
We really enjoy coming out here. This is part of the lifestyle that we live here for. So we enjoy doing this, and we're trying to do our part to make sure that others can also.
With this week's Where To, I'm Will Oxley.
Hey everybody, welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Scott Huntsman at my Tunex shop here in South Jordan, and I've got a great product to review today. It's a tire pressure monitor system. Now it is camping season, and I brought my RV, and the reason I did is I'm in need of some tires. These original tires are worn out, and there's a story I want to share with you and why this is going to be so valuable. A good friend of ours that was towing his beautiful Jeep on a flatbed trailer, he had a detrimental tire failure, and yes, this is what was left of the two wheels off the one side of his trailer. Now, he is lucky in the sense that passerby driving by waved them down. but he's towing this trailer with a diesel pusher motorhome. He had no idea whatsoever that he had a tire problem on the trailer. Even with the rims down to this material, he was still towing like normal. He could have lost the Jeep, there could have been injuries involved. You know, to avoid that, this is the reason that we're going to install this Pressure Pro FX tire pressure monitor system for towables. What makes this very unique is that the tire sensors themselves simply are valve caps that will screw onto the valve stem of the wheel itself. It's going to be very simple to install. These are not much money. It's a US built product, so I really want to try it out and let's see what it's all about. First step of installing this system is to find a place for the central module for the TPMS system for the tires. Even if my phone is out of range or I choose not to use that smart device, I want this in a conspicuous place that the driver can see it. I also need to mount, and this is step number 2, the dipole antenna. That antenna is what's going to receive the signals from the sensors themselves on the trailer. Very simple. We'll just get those parts connected and move on to the next step. Putting the very last sensor on the last wheel and programming them to the app was very simple to do. I'll save this because I can put these same sensors onto my boat trailer. My boat trailer will take a different air pressure. So then I just choose the boat, the pressure is stored, the sensors go on, and I have the same function with the same alerts that will alert me when that happens. I can save many vehicles on this. I can even use this system on another car if I want to. There's so many different options, it's great. So what we want to do right now is do a little real-time test. I'm going to deflate a tire and I'm going to see how quickly it is that it alerts me. All right guys, this is our real-time test. This tire needs to be replaced anyway, so I've always wanted to do this. Remember, that was an old tire that we did the test with. I've got my nice new ones now. It was gonna get the new ones anyway. Hey, this Pressure Pro system works really well. Simple install, simple configuration, simple download of an app, and you've got all that information right there. Hey, if you have questions about this, give us a call here. 2NX South Jordan, West Valley, any of them in the Wasatch Front, or you can also email me, scott@ayltv.com. I'll answer all your questions about it. I love it. I'm Scott Huntsman. More at your leisure in a moment.
Release on the trigger.
Woo! I hit it! Jack!
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are here at the archery range in Richfield, one that's set up by Jorgensen's. And Ria has so far today, on her third shot, she hit our car, she killed a rock, and she finally got a raccoon. So she's doing real well.
I couldn't be happier.
But you know, there is something very interesting here. If you're a beginner like Ria, there's always some coaching. You need a lot of coaching. But even people like Todd, who have been shooting archery for years, can use some good pointers, as we found out today.
Okay, we're going to go through the proper shooting technique. Todd's going to be our example here. The first thing we're going to do is get our proper stance. And we want to use an open stance. I'm going to bring that right foot around a little front up here a ways. So it's an open stance. He's using a bow sling, so as he shoots with a relaxed hand, not a tight grip, that the bow might jump forward and this is going to catch it from going on the ground there. Takes the arrow out of the quiver, puts it on the nocking point, which is in the middle of that D loop, and goes ahead and cocks the arrow rest and puts his release on the D loop, and he comes to a proper full draw, which we take this hand right behind the point of the jaw there, lined up straight with the arrow, reaches for the trigger and squeezes. And if you do everything the same every time, the arrow's going to hit in the same spot every time.
Yeah,
Squeeze.
I'm on it, and death to Rory! Whoa, I got him! All right, this is way more fun than I thought. And it helps to have a complete setup. So Jack, I'm using Jack's bow here. It's got this little sight right in the line, and I just lined it up, and man, I took Rory Raccoon right out at the heart. Anyway, right now, we are going to practice some more. It's time for you to go to this week's Along the Way.
I'm Reese Stein, at your leisure, along the way at one of the most unusual apartment complexes in the world, the mystical volcanic tufa rooms of Cappadocia, Turkey.
These are fairy chimneys, and like 1,200 people were living in them.
Cappadocia's famous fairy chimneys form a surreal landscape of carved-out towering rock formations. Ancient volcanic eruptions blanketed this high plateau in central Turkey, 350 miles from Istanbul, with a thick ash layer that solidified into soft rock called tufa. Wind, rain, and snow took over, creating a magical panorama. Man moved in at least 3,000 years ago. Early Christians escaping Roman persecution lived here and hollowed out hundreds of homes, dozens of churches, complete underground cities.
This place is it's like being in Disneyland. I mean, its landscaping is unique.
Most of these are actually churches where they have paintings on their ceilings and on the walls that some of them look like they were just painted weeks ago instead of hundreds and thousands of years ago. It just can't be explained, or a picture just can't do it justice.
We'll give it a try anyway. The frescoes in the dark church have been restored to their 11th century luster.
We're fortunate enough that 1,000-year-old paintings on the walls still remain, some in excellent condition.
Living in these rocks, I can't imagine how cold it was in the winter and warm, and just what a life they had then.
We get a taste of life in the caves. Our hotel was carved into the volcanic wall. The rooms date back to the 5th century, but have been updated with electricity and modern bathrooms. The caves even serve as fancy restaurants, although the monks seated around this stone table didn't have it quite as good.
It's so hard to believe. You go inside them and they're totally unusual. These little caves where they've dug out little holes for people to live.
We found the best way to view the unique terrain from the basket of a beautiful balloon.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm up and away!
The hour-long balloon ride was safe, smooth, and spectacular, with a bumpy but stable landing.
You did a good job. Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well worth the $215 price tag.
It was great, Reese.
Great really sums up the entire adventure in this truly unique corner of the world. Reese Stein at your leisure, along the way in Cappadocia, Turkey.
Wow! You guys are good. Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are here at the city range for Richfield that was put together by Jorgensen's. And they've donated all the equipment, the rack over here to hang your bows and your equipment on, and the bales, and they figured out how to come up with all these different hunting scenarios in this kind of bow and arrow Hogan's Alley here. It's right by the water towers down here in Richfield. So if you want to come in, you go into town, you go to 3rd North, you come up till it hits Gravel Road, and you'll see it. There'll be a tiny little sign that'll tell you that there's a range here. Anyway, if you need direction, just go over on Cove Street to Jorgensen's, ask them. Somebody in the sporting goods department will be happy to help you, maybe even sell you a cool bow. They probably scored 2 of them today. Anyway, right now it's time for us to take a look at the action happening next week on At Your Leisure.
Next week, Scott Huntsman and Kurt Miles are throwing down the gauntlet in the Ultimate Challenge. We head to Moab as Team Scott pits their Jeeps against Team Kurt and their side-by-sides.
Then, one of our AYL families will take you to some great hiking trails that are located close to home as they're showing off 5 of the best waterfall hikes on the Wasatch Front.
Finally, Terry and Susan Wood are stoking the boiler for a one-of-a-kind journey that will take you on a railway back in time. Now let's take a look at our contest winner.
This week's contest winner was submitted to us on email by Cody Brereton, and it looks like he's the lucky winner of a Clearly Tough windshield for his rig.
Clearly Tough offers the strongest windshields on the market. Visit clearlytough.com for more info.
Congratulations, Cody, and be sure to call us at 801-947-8888 to claim your Clearly Tough windshield.
Well, next week's show looks great.
It does, and so does this grouping, Ria. Take a look at that.
I know.
And I got this animal right where I wanted to.
Oh boy, was that your arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So.
Well, you know what? I used to love raccoons, but one time in college I was, hunting super cold. I was in Iowa, and our friends were like bow and arrow on this dead cow. I mean, he was frozen, and that little bugger came crawling out of that cow, and I said, I'm done with the cute little raccoons, because they're not so cute anymore. They're gross.
So you went from raccoon love to muskrat love.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
Yeah, all right.
Well, we got to thank you guys so much for coming out with us today. What a great group.
The sporting goods department is such a great bunch of people. Braden, Todd, and Jack. There are other people there too, but they didn't show up today, so they don't get the credit.
That's right. You know what? It's a great time. And like Jorgensen's, it's just a giant playground. You guys are so blessed to work there.
Yeah,
I love that place.
So many things to do. Remember, there's adventure around every bend.
Just got to get out there and create your own adventure
at your leisure. All right, I guess we should start pulling these out.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Let's see.
Oh.